Hi everybody, today I'm going to be discussing Back to Black, the Amy Winehouse biopic that is meant to be released in cinemas in Australia tomorrow, 11th of April 2024. I went to a special screening tonight which also gave away a mocktail to every person with a ticket. Unfortunately, I couldn't enjoy that drink because it didn't meet my nutritional requirements. I do definitely appreciate the gesture, but the drinks and extras are not what I'm here to talk about. The movie is. I know audiences are going to have mixed opinions, and I know that many people are already reacting before having even seen it. They feel a little bit skeptical because everybody's got a different version of events to present. From fans to people aiming you or those that you worked with. Something that I was taught, and I think I've shared this opinion here on YouTube before, something that I was taught in school: you need to be precise. Actually, archaeology and history teachers. Again, I must correct myself, lecturers and professors, to be more fair and accurate, was that you can never follow the narrative of anybody and take it as gospel, because everybody has a biased view and everybody has got an agenda. So whether it is persons who are close to the subject, or whether we're dealing with a complete stranger who is telling the story and using secondary accounts, whatever the case, there will always be a distorted view because everybody's got a different objective to achieve by pushing specific information, whether it is controversy so something can sell, whether it is protecting certain organizations and individuals, or whether simply their perception is completely wrong. And that's something I really wanted to touch upon. That doesn't matter whatever anybody thinks about the people in Amy's or anybody else's life, really. We don't know, we weren't there, so we have no idea what they were really like, whether they were supportive, what their motivations were, and what the characters or interactions with the deceased person were. So I'd like to ask viewers ahead of time to please reserve some benefit of the doubt for Amy's dad, her mum, Blake, and whoever else they might be passing a judgment on, because we really don't know what was in the heart. And after all, unless they were a monster, I don't think that any of them were straight out just to get money out of Amy or their association with her. At least this is what I am getting out of the movie. Her dad was looking out for her career. He didn't want her to make a wrong move or any bad decisions to take place because he was scared of the impact it was going to have on Amy's professional journey. It is my strong conviction that unless it involves a psychopath, a sociopath, or an outright narcissist, no parent would choose money and success, fame, over the child's life. I am determined beyond any shadow of a doubt that if the mother and father of Amy Winehouse had the chance to have the child back in their lives, for her to be alive once again, and to do away with all the money that she left in their name when she passed away, they wouldn't even flinch about it. They would definitely choose for the daughter to be alive once more. And who cares about career, success, fame or riches? I understand and appreciate that Mitch gave a film crew permission and access to his family while they were away on a retreat for the health benefits, the betterment of the health of Amy. The subject of the filming was supposed to be his life though, not Amy's. Inevitably, it had an impact on his child, having a microphone and camera follow them wherever they were going. Nothing is as clear-cut and as black and white as we might think. One set of data and circumstances might be interpreted very differently by a parent or a sibling than it would be by us. And so we shouldn't be so harsh on Mitch, because a lot of the times the information is right in front of your nose, but you can't see it. And later on you kick yourself and wish you could take it back. You wish you could have taken a different route, made a different turn, but too little too late. And so we don't know what Mitch is going through. I'm not trying to cover for him. I just want to remind everybody that this gentleman also wanted to showcase his own career because he had vocal skills as well, but he didn't make it as big as Amy, and maybe he saw a little window of opportunity to push his own progression as a vocalist. I'm sure that this poor father would have taken everything back if he knew the effect this would have had on Amy. There is no way that he would have chosen his own success over the life of his child, the very survival of his child. Some people hold the view that Blake Filder-Civil was an opportunist and a gold digger. He only approached Amy Winehouse for her money and fame. This we will not know. He did seem to be pretty much into her in the photos with Amy, although I must say a couple of the jokes that he made were very distasteful during some video footage I watched, and I don't know what to say about that. Again, only he knows the true motivation. The impression I get of what they're trying to say in the film is that he was both into her, but he was also drawn to her money, and let's face it, he was an addict. What better person to latch onto than somebody with plenty of cash flow? Would you hurt your main source of income if you were somebody like Blake? Most definitely not. Why on earth then would he introduce her to the substances? She wouldn't be able to meet her commitments to get up and perform, and then no money would be generated. When you're involved in a toxic relationship, one's bad habits rub off on the other. They go through highs and lows together. I think that was certainly the case between Blake and Amy. They form unhealthy codependencies because they've got their addiction tying them together. Also, him being a person of addictions. The very fact that he was with Amy Winehouse, such a huge star, was a high for him in itself. It would have done wonders for his ego, and it would have made him feel intoxicated. One thing is for sure, he was very bad for Amy. They were bad for each other. The actor who played Blake was spectacular. So was the guy who played Amy's dad. I couldn't get over it. He moved me so much and he was so likeable. He brought me to tears, as did the girl who played Amy herself. Look, I went into this film with every judgment preconceived because anytime a biopic comes out, I approach it with a lot of hesitation, thinking that nobody is ever going to be able to do justice to the original character. And don't forget that somebody like Amy Winehouse was so larger than life, so unique. Her every grimace, her every move, her every spoken word. Marissa really delivered. She really brought to life Amy's passion behind her music, the gusto, the genuineness with which she approached her work and her creative material, the earnestness with which she sang every verse. I found the scenes where she was falling into infatuation with Blake as soon as she met him something out of this world. She was so convincing and so detailed in every little gesture, feeling, grimace that came through the screen. I can't praise this lady enough. I think she did a marvellous job. Anybody who thinks otherwise, wow, what can I say? From a person's perspective who has dealt with film, directing, performing, the stage, I can tell you that this actress is of exceptional determination, commitment, and skill. I truly believe that both her and the gentleman who played Mitch deserve a nomination for some kind of award. What truly made my jaw drop with this lady is her vocal ability. I understand that fans might have a complaint. We could have used Amy's original vocals, yes, but during scenes that require an intimate portrayal where she's writing a song, we need the raw audio bite without any musical instruments. And if you don't have the breathness, the repetition of words, it wouldn't seem genuine, convincing, and just, it wouldn't make you live the moment the way that this lady made you live it. Another great actress to watch out for is her mum. The lady who plays her mum was so warm, so emotional, so real, just very genuine in every movement, expression and emotion in every scene. Please don't reject it. Even if you are the biggest non-believer, the most hesitant person, I'm sure you will walk out of this movie having been touched in some way. It moved me. If you have lost a loved one in your life, you will be so touched during the moments where the grandmother of Amy passes away. Watch out for those and how it impacted the rest of her life. I know that the movie centers around Mitch a lot and around Blake, but they were very much at the core of Amy's influences, success and demise. So it would have been impossible to tell her story without those core characters. They have treated Amy's addictions with a lot of sensitivity and respect. They don't focus too much on the use, but they had to include that in her story because ultimately that is what brought her end, her untimely and sad ending. They don't discuss the seizures that she had too much. One thing that I would have liked to have seen included in there as well would have been her interaction, her positive communication with the paparazzi sometimes, where she would bring them out coffee, tea and biscuits and have that nice, warm kind of give and take that you normally don't see with other celebrities. But I guess how much can you include in a film of 2 hours that went very swiftly without me having a moment to be bored at all? I was captivated by the material they included and the outstanding performances. But I think that was a really nice little touch that could have added in there. Maybe they didn't want to detract from the dramatic impact that fame had on this girl and how she was constantly hounded. I think she was the most hounded, famous person of her times. Anybody who has suffered eating disorders, addictions, the curse of celebrity, pressure, misjudgment, all sorts of things that she did, they will identify them in the film as having been written perfectly into the script. I still can't get over how realistic the portrayal by Marisa was during her moments of sickness after having binged on alcohol. I can relate to that from my moments of youth where I would use alcohol to numb out bad experiences, bad emotions, bad parts in my journey, which only exacerbated the horribleness and the pain. It never works. And I can also relate to the eating disorder that I went through myself, in my case, anorexia. I just can't explain how she was able to gather the knowledge and portray all of those things with such detail and incredible genuineness. I don't know if it was through research, through intuition. I'm sure it was a combination of both that led her to her outstanding performance. Bravo is not enough for me to say. Overall, a well-presented, respectful tribute to Amy Winehouse in film. Was it necessary? Some people say that Amy, the documentary, was so brilliant, we didn't need anything additional. Some people enjoy biopics. I am one of them. The sad part is that a lot of the times they are unfair, they are caricatures or sensationalistic and one-sided. Biopics in general are more intimate portraits than documentaries, although each serves a different purpose of bringing the audience and the artist close together. They act as a form of soothing to make us feel that we haven't lost the person who has gone. One film and biopic that is an example of a very poorly created one was the most recent effort on Whitney Houston. I'm very glad that they focused on her relationship, very tastefully so, with Robin, because Robin was such an important person in Whitney's life. The acting was very good, but the spunk was completely missing from the performances, meaning the musical and stage appearances as well as her participation in video clips. And the storyline, the script was so dull, I almost fell asleep in the cinema. I'm sorry to say that, but it isn't that easy to create a good biopic, and definitely Back to Black is a very good one. Before I go, I wanted to highlight that I don't mean my review as a criticism or evaluation of anybody's character. Blake Filder-Civil did seem pretty candid in the interviews that I've listened to him speak in and watched him participate. I can't say for certain what is the underlying detail and truth of his relationship with Amy. And because none of us are certain, I would like to ask that we all consider how we treat others. I think people deserve a second chance in life no matter what they've done. So whether they've committed a robbery or whether they have made a poor decision, they deserve another go. Carrying the knowledge of what we have done, many of us suffer for the rest of our lives. Not all of us, but we've got to give somebody the benefit of the doubt. Being the bearers of our poor decisions is punishment enough. We go through self-torturing knowing that we can't bring mistakes of the past back. Nobody deserves indefinite punishment unless they're an evil soul and they have taken a life. We have seen too many a time the detriment that judgment and collective wrath has brought upon people. It has destroyed a person too many a time and has resulted to their untimely death, their premature end, ranging from people like Princess Diana to Michael Jackson. Please don't be an unnecessary participant in such an injustice. You will have to live with it for the rest of your life. Of course, you're entitled to an opinion, but you can never be 100% sure of what went down because you weren't there and because you're not in somebody else's shoes, experiencing life from their own perspective. Catch you in the next episode. I hope you enjoy the movie.